Hello everyone. Please specify whether audio and video is clear. So today's topic is Indus Water Treaty. Please ask if you have any doubt from any previous topic. है कोई doubt? Okay, I am assuming कि कोई doubt नहीं है. Let's start then. Indus Water Treaty. First thing first, it is a treaty between India and Pakistan. Why it was in news recently? Because there was a dispute. For settlement of that dispute, recently World Bank appointed a neutral expert. What is the role of this World Bank in this treaty? Actually, World Bank acted as a mediator or facilitator for this treaty. It was signed in 1960. At that time, our Prime Minister was Pandit Nehru and President of Pakistan was Ayub Khan. So basically, it talks about distribution or sharing of water resources between India and Pakistan. Now, let's start. So first thing first, why it was in news? It was in news because of the appointment of the neutral expert. So World Bank appointed the neutral expert, and that is why it was in news. So let me give you the brief background for this particular treaty. Indus Water Treaty. It was signed in 1960. It is a treaty for sharing the water resources between India and Pakistan. So between India and Pakistan. And in this treaty, World Bank played a key role. Now, basically, this treaty talks about the sharing of water resources between India and Pakistan. So, three rivers, that is SRB, Satluj, Ravi, Beas, these are on Indian side. That basically means India have control over these rivers. Control means control over the use of water resources. And the treaty, IWT, in this water treaty, give the power of three rivers to CJI, that is Chenab, Jhelum and Indus River to Pakistan. So on map, if you see, this is Satluj, this is Beas, this is Ravi. So these three are with India, and ICJ, that is CJI, if you want to remember, Chief Justice of India, try to remember it this way. These three are towards Pakistan. Now understand, this particular treaty allow India to use the water of these three, that is CJI, for non-consumption purpose. Non-consumption purpose basically means India can use these water resources, for example, for power generation, for example, for fishing, for example, for transportation. So that is allowed in the treaty itself. That is the background of treaty. In fact, you can use this information to write introduction if there is a question related to this IWT, in this water treaty. Now let's try to understand the dispute resolution mechanism in this treaty. Dispute resolution. Dispute resolution basically means if there is a conflict between India and Pakistan, conflict over the water resources, how those conflicts will be resolved. So basically there are three different level of dispute resolution mechanism. One is a permanent Indus Commission. Permanent Indus Commission. That basically means a permanent body for the settlement of dispute. Then there will be neutral expert. Neutral expert. Neutral basically means someone who is neutral for both sides, someone who is not partial. So this will be appointed by World Bank. And third one is Court of Arbitration. Court of Arbitration. COA. So understand it very carefully. If there is a question related to treaty, question basically means whether we can do it, whether we cannot do it, that is to be addressed through permanent Indus Commission. So this is going to address the question. If there is a difference basically means there is a small difference between the two countries, that is India and Pakistan, that is to be addressed through neutral expert. And if there is a dispute, that is to be addressed through Court of Arbitration. Recently, Pakistan objected regarding the various dam projects of India, and that is why a neutral expert has been appointed. Technically, Pakistan has objected to two important projects. One is Kishan Ganga, and one is Ratal Dam project. Now, what objection Pakistan have? Understand, Pakistan says that this way, that means by construction of dam, India will be able to control the water flow, and therefore India can create a situation of flood or drought in the Pakistan whenever India want. That is the entire argument of Pakistan. In a very simple sense, Pakistan's argument is that India will be able to control the flow by construction of these dams. And if they can control the flow, they may stop water supply, which will create problem of drought, or they may lead to excess supply that will lead to the problem of flood. That is the argument of Pakistan. Okay, now so far we have covered what is IWT, Indus Water Treaty, what is river water sharing, means what are the provisions of river water sharing. So basically India have right over these three rivers and Pakistan have right over these three rivers. However, even on these three rivers, India have right for non-consumptive purpose. Non-consumptive purpose basically means the water will not be consumed. See, understand it this way. When hydroelectricity is produced, in that case, water is not consumed. When water is used for transportation as a water medium, then water is not consumed. So these are non-consumptive purpose. Okay, what will happen if there is a dispute? We have already seen that there is a provision of permanent Indus Commission, there is a provision of neutral expert, and then there is a court of arbitration. Now let's try to understand the challenges or issues related to this particular thing. Okay, so what are the challenges? First challenge is Pakistan's objective or Pakistan's objection to Indian dams. Now, second challenge is strategic actually. Understand one thing, India receive roughly 20% of the water resources. Rest 80% is given to Pakistan. And that is where India's argument is that this treaty need to be renegotiated. So India received roughly 20% and Pakistan received roughly 80% of the water resources. And that is why India says that yes, this treaty need to be renegotiated. Third challenge is climate change. Climate change. How climate change is related to this one? See, understand, because of climate change, the extreme weather circumstances are increasing, the water level is going down, and that is why there is not sufficient water resources. So, in that context, India's argument is that we have to renegotiate these agreements. And last one is terrorism. Pakistan has been directly and indirectly involved in sponsoring terrorism, and that has created problems for both countries. So basically our argument is that why we should share resources with someone who is promoting terrorism against India. So these are some of the challenges. However, understand it very carefully. Despite so much difficulties in India-Pakistan relationship, this treaty has survived. That is, IWT has survived because of three important issues or because of three important developments. One is that it talks about clear allocation of resources. Clear allocation. Clear allocation basically means these are the rivers for India and these are the rivers for Pakistan. Second, it talks about flexibility. What kind of flexibility? For example, it allow India to use the water resources of CJI. What is CJI? That is Chenab, Jhelum and Indus. So it provide flexibility. Third significant thing about Indus Water Treaty is that it allow for dispute resolution. Dispute resolution. So this treaty has survived and it is significant because of these particular things. However, what should be the way forward? See, in future we have to focus on the renegotiation of this particular treaty because of the current circumstances, that is climate change and water scarcity, and therefore we have to follow this diplomatic path to renegotiate it. Now let's try to understand the question, but before that, if you have any doubt, please ask. Is there any doubt? Okay, then let's discuss the question. Question is, what are the key provisions of Indus Water Treaty and how it has influenced India-Pakistan relationship? That is one question. Second question is, discuss the impact of climate change on a transboundary river treaties. Suggest measures to strengthen a water sharing agreement between India and its neighbors. With Bangladesh also we have various issues in the context of water sharing. So you have to write this question in that context. Third is, Indus Water Treaty has withstood major wars and conflict. What makes it successful agreement? Critically analyze its limitation in the current geopolitical scenario. So these are the three questions. Try to write them, and that's all for the day. If you have any doubt, please ask. Okay, then thank you.